Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. And today being Saturday, I thought we would take a look at the lesson that's assigned from the book Job. Now, we've talked a couple times about Job. We've been reading about it for several weeks. We haven't read all of it, but just kind of hit the highlights. Remember the things that have been happening. These terrible things happened to Job with God's consent. And Job, of course, is absolutely miserable. Now, his friends come along and they try to give Job all sorts of reasons why this is happening to him. They talk all about God and God's righteousness and God's judgment. And much of what they say is true, basically, about God. But none of those things are true in Job's situation. And the only person in the story who actually talks to God rather than just talking about God is Job. But Job sets up a parameter for God. He says, unless you do this, that, and this, I will not be satisfied. And of course, what ends up happening in the story is that God does speak to Job and says, who are you to tell me what to do? And in fact, were you there when I created the earth? Were you there when I did all these marvelous things? The fact that God speaks to Job at all is good enough for Job. And that's where we are now. We're chapter 42, the last chapter of this book. Beginning at verse number 1. Then Job answered the Lord and said, I know that thou canst do everything, and that thou thought that no thought can be withholden from thee. Who is he that hideth counsel without knowledge? Therefore I have uttered that which I understood not, things too wonderful for me, which I knew not. Hear, I beseech thee, and I will speak, and I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. I have heard of thee by the hearing of the ear, but now mine eye seeth thee. Wherefore I abhor myself, and repent in the dust and ashes. And it was so, that after the Lord had spoken these words unto Job, the Lord said to Eliphaz the Temanite, My wrath is kindled against thee, and against thy two friends, for ye have not spoken of me the thing that is right, as my servant Job hath. Therefore take unto you now 7 bullocks and 7 rams, and go to my servant Job, and offer up for yourselves a burnt offering, and my servant Job shall pray for you. For him will I accept. Lest I deal with you after your folly, in that ye have not spoken of me the things which is right, like my servant Job. Then Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamanite went and did according as the Lord commanded them, and the Lord accepted Job. And that's where the lesson ends, but let's go read a little further. And the Lord turned the captivity of Job when he prayed for his friends. Also the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before. So all the things that were taken away in addition to the physical illness was restored unto Job. So we always like a happy ending, right? And they all live happily ever after. And here's God giving the opportunity to the Eliphaz and Bildad and the Shuhite, all those folks, giving them the opportunity to repent as well and to return to the Lord. So anyway, the book of Job is a wonderful thing. Go ahead, read the whole thing cover to cover if you'd like, and use a good revised or a good annotated Bible so you can read the footnotes so that you don't get lost. Today is Saturday, which means tomorrow we gather for church. Tomorrow we gather for worship at St. John's Church, 7:30 morning prayer, 8 o'clock Holy Communion, 10 o'clock Holy Communion, and 5:30 evening prayer with Holy Communion. And I hope that you will join us to worship and glorify the good God. But I hope your Saturday is good and productive. See you in church. God bless you.